Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to take a web app in 10 steps from your GitHub repo and get it live on the internet. So as you can see on the screen right now, we have the app we're going to be using. We're going to be using an AWS EC2 instance, Nginx, and a Hostinger DNS with full HTTPS security. We're going to go step by step from launching your own server to pointing your domain. So by the end of this video, you're going to have your own app running online. So with that said, let's just jump right into the video and I'm going to walk you step by step through the process. So on screen, we have the app we're going to be running on our server. So right now, this is not running on AWS EC2 instance. So what we want to do is we're going to sign into our root user. So I'm signed into the root user right now. We're also going to be signed into Hostinger. So if you have Hostinger, just sign into it. Within Hostinger, we're going to come down here to hosting, premium web hosting. We're going to manage that. And when we hit manage, it's going to take us here. We're just going to scroll down to advanced and we're going to go to DNS zone editor. So we're just going to leave it at this for right now. Let's head over to AWS. So the first thing we want to do is create an EC2 instance. So we're going to go to EC2. You can also just go over here and say EC2 and then just click on it. So when you do that, what we want to do is we're going to come right down here to Launch Instance. We're going to click on that. And I'm going to call this my AWS tutorial YouTube. So this is, we're going to be using Ubuntu. So we're going to click on that. Here we're going to come down because my application is kind of large. I'm not going to be using T3 micro. I'm going to be using T3 large. So you guys, depending on what size you need, you can go ahead and select the instance type. Now, keep in mind, AWS is expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to just show how to build this project and delete it. So I'm not trying to pay for an EC2 instance. So, but like it says, I believe the nano or the micro are free tiers. So let me see. The micro, I believe, is a free tier. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But one of them, I believe, is a free tier. I'm not too sure. It'll show you when you do it. But I'm not sure on the pricing at this moment. So keep in mind there is pricing for EC2 instances. This is just a tutorial on how to set up your server. So proceed with caution. Here we're gonna have a key pair login because we're gonna be using the AWS console. It's not really that much. It's not really required, but we're gonna create it nonetheless. So here we're gonna call this EC2 AWS YouTube tutorial. And oh, sorry, we're gonna create a new key pair. So here we're gonna call it AWS tutorial YouTube, and we're going to create key pair, and it's going to download right in there. For our network setting, we're going to allow SSH traffic, we're going to allow HTTPS traffic from the internet, and we're going to allow HTTP traffic from the internet. So here we're going to allow it from anywhere. So that's pretty much it. We're going to launch our instance. So this is where the work starts. Okay, now that we launched our instance, we're going to scroll down and we're going to say connect to your instance. We're going to hit that. Awesome. And we're going to hit connect. So because we're using AWS, oh, it's not been spinned up yet. So let's refresh that. Okay, let's do it again. Let's come here and let's say connect. So instance state is pending. Let's refresh this. So instance. Okay, so we should be good. Yeah, we should be fine. Cool. Let's just see if we can wait a bit while it says pending. Okay, instance state running. Now we're going to hit connect. And we're going to hit connect again. So it's establishing the connection. We should be fine now because there we go. So here's where the work starts. So now we are within our private server, and we're just gonna clear all this out. And remember, we're using Ubuntu, so that makes a world of a difference. So like I said earlier, we're gonna be using the browser-based AWS shell, which is this. So we don't need the .pem key, and we're not using the local terminal. We're just gonna simply use the AWS shell, which is what's on the screen right now. So our first step that we did was launch the Ubuntu EC2 instance. Then we connected our instance via the browser. So we selected the Ubuntu and we clicked connect to open our terminal in our browser. So we are on step 3 now, which is update the OS and install the basics and enable the firewall. So I'm going to be copying and pasting each command so it doesn't take too long, but every single command is going to be within our description. So that way you can follow along. So what we want to do first is we want to update our system packages. So we're going to do so by using this command. So the command is going to be sudo apt update and sudo apt y upgrade. So we're going to enter that. It's going to upgrade everything. So we're updating the system packages. And then the next thing we want to do is we're going to be using Git. We're going to be installing Git compilers, the firewall, and Nginx. So once this is done, we're going to use another command. So the command for this one, which I'm going to paste once it's done, is, let's give it a second. It should be done in a second. Okay, so progress is about 4%. Okay, so remember, we're going to be using Git with Git clone because that's our application is currently on GitHub. So we have to clone it, and you can't just, clone it if there's no Git present within our VPS. It's not going to understand what git clone means, what that command means. So right now we're on 67%. So let's give it a second. I don't want to fast forward through this so you guys can see the whole process. It should take not too long, not too much longer. But while this is compiling, you guys can go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom. We're almost at 700 subscribers, so this will, help push us to that 700 or even more. But yeah, if you're enjoying the video or if you just have this little time right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It'll go a long way. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're at 99%. We're almost at 100. Give it a second, and we should be at 100. Wow, this is really one long 1%. There we go. Okay, so we're done. So let's clear out of this. And then the next command is sudo apt y install git build essential UFW Nginx. So UFW is in reference to the firewall, and Nginx is our reverse proxy. So we're going to go ahead and enter that. So now we're going to allow AWS SSH access. So that's what our next command is going to be. So let's give it a second. This one's going a little faster than the last one, so we should be set. Okay, scanning process. Awesome. So let's clear out of this as well. We're going to paste that in there. So this is going to be sudo UFW allow open SSH. We're going to click on that. So now we've allowed SSH access. The next thing we want to do is we want to allow HTTP and HTTPS. So what we're going to say is command paste. This is going to be sudo UFW allow Nginx full. So this is going to allow HTTP and HTTPS access. We're going to enter that. So the rules have been updated. Now we want to turn our firewall on. So what we're going to say is sudo UFW enable. We're going to enter that, and it's going to access, it's going to tell us it's going to disrupt existing SSH connections. That's fine. Just hit yes and enter that. So firewall is active and enabled on system startup. So we're going to clear out of that. So just like that, we finished our third step. So our fourth step is we're going to install Node and PM2. And remember, PM2 is basically a project package manager. let's go ahead and copy that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it on there. Let's go ahead and paste this command. So here it's going to be curl SSL HTTPS, and this is going to be the link in which we're going to be installing our the link of which we're going to be installing our NVM, so our node version manager. So we're going to go ahead and enter that. So it's going to do that. Now we're going to say NVM install. So we're going to install the latest LTS of Node.js. So we're going to use this command here. Oh, sorry. Let's load NVM into our shell. So we're going to say source bash rc. So let's go ahead. So let's do this first. Let's clear out of this and then do this. Awesome. And now we're going to install the latest LTS Node.js. So that's just going to be NVM install LTS. There we go. Awesome. So the source that we did before, the source bash rc, that's just to load into the shell. So we loaded into the shell. Now we've installed the latest LTS node.js, and we want to confirm our versions. So we're going to come over here, and we have version 22.18 and 10.9.3. So the node version is version 22. The NPM version is 10.9.3. So we're done installing the node and PM2. So that is basically step 4. So we're halfway there now. We're going to be on step 5. And with step 5, all we're doing is we're cloning our GitHub repo. So first, what we want to do, let's clear out of this. We're going to cd into the root. After we do that, we're going to say git clone, and I'm going to come over to my repo here. So I'm going to go to GitHub, and we're going to be using Marvel new code. We're going to get that HTTPS. So we're going to get that link. So git clone, paste the clone in there. Paste the command in there. And now we can cd into our app. So let's say ls cd Marvel new. And if you guys are not sure what these how I'm using these quick commands like cd, make directory, things like that, I do have a video on my channel on 10 I believe it's 10 quick 10 easy or 10 must know commands for your terminal, basically. So you guys can check that out. It'll help a lot. So here we're gonna ls, and then we're gonna cd into Marvel again and clear out of that. So now we're going to say npm ci, which is we're just going to install all the dependencies. So it's going to be, I believe it's clean install. And then we're going to do that. So it's going to install every single thing for us. So let's give it a second. It's working its magic. So once again, if you guys have this time, you just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're almost at 700 subscribers. It'll help a lot. Don't forget to like the video as well if it does help you, and share the video to other people, because I believe when I looked online, there weren't a lot of these videos out, at least a lot of these new ones. So it'll help a lot of people out. So now we're done. We've installed all the dependencies. We can clear out of this. Now we're on step 6. We want to create our product environment variables. So we're going to say vim.env. Awesome. So here I'm going to put in my product, my production environment variables. I'm not going to show you what they are. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it in there, and I'm going to exit out of Vim. So for those of you who don't know how to exit out of Vim, what you're going to say is it's going to be, so once you copy and paste it, you're going to use shift, you're going to select colon, and you're going to say WQ, and then you're just going to hit enter. So that's how you exit out of Vim. So it's write and quit. So that saves the item as well, just in case you guys need to know that. I'm going to go ahead to my VS Code. I'm going to copy and paste the production variables, and then I'll see you guys on the next step. Awesome. So now that that's done, what we want to do is we want to build and run our PM2. So we're just going to type out the commands for this. So we're going to say npm run build first. So we're going to build our optimized production version. So we're going to build that. So let's give it a second while it builds. It shouldn't take too long. Our instance is large enough to accommodate the build size. So let's give it a second here. Okay, don't fail me now. So it says download an SW package. So let's give it a second here. So like I said, this is step 7. So after we run the build, we're going to start up our PM2. Awesome. So we're pretty much almost done with this. So let's give it a second here. Like I said, the instance is large enough to accommodate this, so it shouldn't take too much longer. Awesome, we're done. Let's clear out of that. Now we want to start up our PM2 manager. So we're going to say PM2 start, and this is going to be npm run start, and we're going to name this AWS tutorial. Awesome. Oh, what did I put? PM2 start. Oh, so npm run build. We should have PM2 start and npm run start name WS tutorial. So what is command PM2 not found? Did you mean? No, I did not. So let's clear out of that. Let's see again, PM2. Did I install PM2? I'm pretty sure I did. PM2 start npm run start name AWS. Let's call it YouTube. We don't have PM2. Why is that? Let's see. So did we install PM2 or did I skip that process? Yes, I did skip that process. So what we want to do, let's come back here. So let's go back to the root. So we're going to say cd into our root. And we're going to install this, which is npm install PM2. So we failed to install PM2. So this should be part of step 4, where we install PM2. So right after we check the versions, we install PM2. So we're done with that. Let's go back. Now let's cd into Marvel new. We're going to cd into Marvel. And once we do that, now we should be able to start our PM2. So we're going to say PM2 start npm run start. Name is going to be AWS tutorial. Well, I spelled that wrong as always. So after we do that, now we're going to say PM2 startup and PM2 save. Cool. We clear out of that. So if we say PM2 list, as you can see, our application is online. So that's good. We can clear out of that. Now what we want to do is we want to configure our Nginx to proxy our app. So we're going to say sudo nano /etc/nginx and nginx/sites available. So make sure you spell that right, and we're going to call it web app. So just something generic. Cool. So to make this easier, we can go over to my, so we can say youtube.com. We can go over to my channel. So Akeem37. So when we do that, we click on my channel name. We go to the videos, popular, and we're going to click on deploying the Next.js 14 app on Ubuntu.
Customizing.
So we don't have to watch all that. Let's just go down here, and you can see here we have an Nginx reverse proxy edit. So we can copy this here from server, and we can come right back over to EC2 instance over here, and we can paste this in. Now, all we have to do is, so our proxy pass here is going to be 1070 because my application is running on localhost 1070. If yours is running on 3000, then leave it at 3000. Whatever localhost yours is running on in your development is what you want to put it in. Is what you want to put in. And my server name, this is the name we're going to allocate to it on Hostinger. Mine is going to be AWS tutorial .boltluna.io. Awesome. And then that's pretty much it. And now we're going to say, I'm using a Mac, so it's going to be Control X. And we're going to say yes, so Y, and then enter. So that's going to be it. So once we're done with that, that's step 8. We're going to enable it, and then we're going to reload it. So this is all still step 8. So we're going to say sudo ln save /etc /nginx /sites available slash what was it, web app slash, so space /etc /nginx /sites. We're going to enable it, enabled /web app. Awesome. So now we're going to test it. So we're going to say sudo nginx test. It's okay and it's successful. Now we're going to say sudo systemctl. So ctl reload nginx and nginx. Cool. So we reloaded it. Now we want to go to Hostinger for our step 9. So we're going to go to Hostinger. And right now I have AWS here. So I'm just going to delete it so you guys see that we're doing this fresh. Okay. Now we're going to do that. We're going to go to Hostinger. This is our domains. We're going to name this AWS tutorial. That's what we're going to name it. It's going to point to our AWS instance IP address. So we're going to come over to our public IPv4 address. So we're going to look at this public IPv4 address. We're going to copy this address. We're going to go back to this, and we're going to say AWS tutorial points to this address, right? So we're going to keep it at type A, and we're going to keep this at this, and then we're going to add record. So we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. Wait, what did we do wrong? Oh, there we go. We take away that at, and then confirm. There we go. So it's created successfully. So now that that's created successfully, we can head over to step 10. So we go back to our EC2 instance shell. And now what we want to do is we want to, so that's basically our step 9. So our step 10, what we want to do is we want to install, we want to enable HTTPS with Let's Encrypt. So we're going to say sudo apt-y install. Actually, so let's clear out of this. So clear. We're going to go back to our root. So because we're installing. So we're going to say cd. We're going to go back to the root. There we go. And you know what? I can just copy this and show it to you. So that way we don't have to spend more time on it. Awesome. So we're going to say sudo apt-y install certbot python 3 certbot nginx. We're going to install that. It's going to install the certbot. Cool. Let's give it a second. Awesome. Now we're going to say sudo. Let's clear out of this. Now we're going to say sudo certbots nginx d and it was going to be AWS tutorial.boltzluna.io. So that's what that's going to be. We're going to enter that. Let's give it a second. Email address, we don't need that right now. We can just hit cancel. Oh, it must be provided. So let's do that again. So enter email address. 97. Let's just use this. Cool. Awesome. Do you agree? Yeah, that's fine. Would you be willing to know? Awesome. So now it's requesting a certificate for AWS tutorial boltzluna.io. So let's give it a second. It should work. There we go. So we're done. So now we can clear out of this. So let's see if it works. So let's go over to a new tab. Let's go over to AWS tutorial.boltzluna.io. And bam, that's our project. So there it is. So hope you guys are able to understand and follow along with the steps. I kept it at 10 steps because that makes it fairly minimal. But with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys do enjoy this video. We're almost at 700 subscribers, as I said, guys. So a little push will go a long way. But like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on whatever video we decide to put out next. Peace.